Going live and we're live. Morning thoughts, morning thoughts, morning thoughts. Shout out to the people going out to work this morning. Shout out to the people coming in from work this morning. Extra special big up. Shout out to the people who work multiple jobs. I have the utmost respect for you. Shout out to my entrepreneurs, my stay-at-home moms and pops, my retirees. Shout out to the drivers, the Uber driver, Lyft driver, truck driver, taxi driver, food delivery drivers, round town and long distance truck drivers. Shout out to the bus drivers, garbage truck drivers. Shout out to the train drivers. Shout out to the crossing guards and the AC man them. Shout out to all military personnel, all medical field personnel. Shout out to the people them at the fast food restaurant and the people them in the cook shop and these kind of things. The jerk man out the road with the jerk pan. Shout out to everybody, every hustler that's out there up and out to get it this morning. Shout out to the custodians keeping the buildings clean and these kind of things. Shout out to every hard-working individual out there. Shout out to every person who has good intentions for others and wish other people the best as you wish for yourself. You're a good person. You deserve some respect. Big up on yourself and thank you for being here this morning. The chat is open this morning. It's one of those kind of mornings where everybody can come on in and enjoy. I feel like starting it out like this on a Monday morning. It will probably not be like that again for the rest of the week. You still have to go get your membership on these kind of things. Shout out to all the people whose names are in green this morning. And shout out to those coming in this morning as well whose name is not in green. Big up on yourself. Thank you. We have a couple of things to talk about this morning. Thousands of communist Chinese troops on the border of the U.S. or on the U.S. southern border. Fox News ran with this article that had me thinking all weekend long. You know, say, given my military background and all that, I have to go do some research real quick because it was quite spooky to see the video footage of all these Chinese men that were bunched up at the U.S. southern borders. And remember with the video we did before telling you about who's trying to make it into the U.S.? I believe that video we did is when a Jamaican was found dead on the streets of Mexico. And it turns out his family had been missing him for quite some time, didn't know where he was, and he was trying to make his way into the U.S. So he traveled to Panama, and then from Panama, he traveled to Mexico. And then from Mexico, he was hoping to cross over into the U.S. and probably file for or seek some kind of asylum, right? Well, the reports also said that nowadays, majority of the people that are crossing those Mexico borders are not Mexicans. And the Mexican them used to come over enough. It's not the Mexicans anymore. They said people are coming from as far as Africa. People are coming from China. People are coming from many other countries across the world. And they are traveling through Mexico to cross those borders into the U.S. You know, it's a politics time again in the U.S. And this is going to play a very big part in who the next president of the United States of America is going to be, because they're going to use this to their advantage or disadvantage, however the argument may be swayed, by saying, look, this man, Sleepy Joe, opened up the damn borders, let all these people in. We don't want that, right? That's what one side is going to be saying. He just opened our borders and let all kinds of people in. How do we know that a bunch of terrorists and a bunch of spies or a bunch of so-and-so, a sleeping cell? I don't know if you know what a sleeping cell is, but a sleeping cell of terrorists might have just entered the country. When might we get hit with another 9/11? Remember, New York, 9/11? Yeah. When might we get hit with another one of those? Are we going to be attacked from within? That's the big conversation right now. So I had to go do some fact checking and find out, because Fox News run it, but you know how the news thing go already. Is like they have the right-wing news people and then they have the left-wing news people, and there seems to be one against the other all the time. Joe Biden fall down. He was at the Air Force graduation, something, he turned to walk and he fell. And, you know, I saw the conservative news stations, they ran with it and they were laughing and making jokes, while the liberal news stations, they were taking it like, oh man, you know, I hope he's all right. That's a pretty bad fall for a guy his age. But he got back up and bounced and brushed it off, whatever. One was laughing, the other wasn't. So politics, a game I play. But we're going to get into the headline. Chinese communist troops on the ground at the U.S. southern border. The other headline that ran this story said, military-aged, hundreds of military-aged Chinese men gathered at the southern border of the U.S. And they are there. And I've seen the video, and they really are there for real. They are there. So we're going to talk about that some this morning, right? For those of us who live, matter of fact, it doesn't even matter if you live in the U.S. because, let's put it this way, whatever happens in the U.S. pretty much affects the world. Yeah, to a greater extent, it affects the Caribbean diaspora and surrounding places close to the U.S. So there you have it. Heartache. I have to get into this story this morning. The Raven Wilson story. Insult added to injury. I need y'all to tune your ears into that one when we get there. And then, of course, everybody always wants to know the keen details of how this happened, how them get him. So there was a wanted youth out of Jamaica named Zado. Zado was his nickname, right? Zado. Nestor Zado Gallimore. Nestor Zado Gallimore was taken out by security forces in Jamaica recently. Well, we have the whole little story of how it went down in Zado's last moments and what led to his demise, led to them catching him. He was a slippery fox for a while. But you know how them say, long run, short catch. All right. And those are our stories for this morning. While you decide where we start out, I'm going to sip my lime tea. Big up everybody that's tuning in. Devin Gale, big up yourself. Thank you for being here. Miss Goldie Robinson, Sean Cassell, thank you for being here. Sean says, morning fam, and please hit the like button as you join the live. 387 people here, 65 thumbs up. I would have liked to see about 300 thumbs up, but you know how the thing go already. No matter how much I ask, people still say them forget. And me so into the story them, I just want to get it on because that's what I'm here for and that's what I enjoy. But hit up the thumbs button, please. I appreciate it greatly. Bro Shaka says the man was just tired. Which man? Oh, Joe Biden. You said Joe Biden was just tired or Zado was just tired of running? Marlon Douglas says that is the GOAT track to be in the U.S. right now. People all over are entering through the Mexican border. Sleeper cell. Audrey Wright, big up yourself. Thank you for being here. Bro Shaka, big up yourself. Bro Shaka, thank you for being here. DR, thank you for being here. Donna Davis, thank you for being here. Gunner Life, thank you for being here. Hey, if I didn't call your name this morning, you see what kind of morning it is. I didn't go down to Asarin Odetta being the first one in this morning. I appreciate you greatly. Great goodies. Thank you for being here as well this morning. Perlis 123 is in the building with us, and BM is also here. Onika St. John Jones is here. You know it, go already. Sometimes we don't do the whole roll call thing. We just get right into the stories. See, for those of you who don't know what a sleeper cell is, it's pretty much an organized, well-trained, organized unit that has one goal in mind. If we're thinking terrorism and we're thinking a sleeper cell, that means different persons in that group carry out different parts of the mission. We would come into the US and we would branch off 4 different directions or 5 different directions. And we would go about our business as if we don't know each other. And then when the time and the date that the mission is set to be accomplished is called, we will unite wherever we have to unite and we will do what we have to do to accomplish that mission. That's a sleeper cell, right? So just to give you a good example, what a sleeper cell is. Nobody is saying what they want this morning. So, all right, I'm going to jump into what me want then. All right. So let's get this one out the way first. The Chinese communist troops on the ground at the U.S. southern border. Okay. Seeing the video, See, big up BM. BM says any topic goes. Seeing the video and the pictures of them gathered at the border, I will admit it was kind of spooky to me. I will admit, because there was a lot of talk around it about being attacked from within. You know, people are saying, wow, you know, the Chinese, they, while our children are busy breaking their necks on TikTok and not learning much of anything else, Chinese are they're training their children to do some really extraordinary and highly intellectual things. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we're far behind. And then also under the communist regime of China, I believe that every male between the age of certain age and certain age has to serve in the military there. So that will give you another foot up for know say everybody military trained, right? So if you see a group of men in the hundreds on the border of the US, it's safe to assume that all of those men are military trained, whether you want to say they're coming to the US for some sleeper cell mission or some might be spies or whatever. Even if all that is wrong, what is true is they are all military trained. Right. So let that sit on that's all. Beyond Me says, I had a dream about that, seeing them offshore close by. uh well, I went to this site. This site that I trust because I've trusted this site for many years, and this site always takes anything controversial and they do deep research and then they break it back down for you some other way. Something inside of me still does not sit comfortable with this. By the way, the people in Florida, did you know that your governor Ron DeSantis made it so that Chinese citizens cannot purchase land in Florida? Oh, okay. Anyhow, let's get into this. There's another big argument going on here, and the other big argument is this will start to have Americans turn against Chinese people, even if they are American born. Just like how when they look at us, if they look at me out in the streets in the US, if me run past and a crime is being committed, the police is gonna say, African American male about 6'4", something, something. Or them not gonna know say me a Jamaican. They're not gonna know if I'm from Nigeria, if I'm from. They don't single you out like that, right? So they're saying that doing that is going to start to cause hostility towards the Chinese community here. A sharp increase. Listen good. A sharp increase in numbers of Chinese immigrants on the way to the U.S. southern border with Mexico has led to the baseless social media claims about a stealth invasion by the Chinese Communist Party of the USA. Troops on the ground, Chinese communists, read sticker text on May 15th TikTok video. The video includes a clip from a Fox News broadcast about Chinese migrants and then cuts to a woman who said, "There's troops on the ground. If you guys didn't know, thousands of Chinese men entering the country of the United States of America illegally." TikTok identified the video as part of its efforts to counter inauthentic, misleading, or false content. Read more about that. I will give you the link when I'm done with this. Yes, Fox News again, DNTD. The Fox and Friends first. Clips shown in the TikTok video comes from an April 19th report, however. In it, Anthony Rubin, who is a reporter for muckracker.com, discussed a video that he recorded that he said showed hundreds of Chinese migrants at a camp near the Panama/Colombia border heading over to the United States of America, or heading over to Mexico to cross over into the United States of America. The TikTok video showed only seconds of the Fox report. in the full report, Rubin didn't describe the men as troops. It was the lady in the video who said, troops are on the ground in case you didn't know, and then everybody ran with that. But he did speak of a line of military-aged men who were lining up to board buses to continue their journey to the US-Mexico border. He speculated, without offering any proof, but he speculated that while some of the men may be coming to the US to seek asylum, others may be coming for nefarious reasons. The line of migrants in the video, a longer version of which was shared April 14th on Twitter, shows young men, but it also shows Chinese women and children as well. Claims that the surge of Chinese migrants poses a military threat to the United States of America have been widely shared, especially on TikTok and other social media platforms over the weekend and in recent months gone. The number of Chinese migrants arriving in the U.S. southern border has increased dramatically in recent months, but there's no evidence that that increase has any connection to China's military. Now, let me say it again. No evidence that that increase has any connection to China's military. However, we must remember that in China, if you are of a certain age, you are required to do military service. So after you pass certain age, it's safe to say that this person, this person, this person, and this person, if born and raised in China, are military trained. There's just no evidence that the military in China itself are assembling people on any mission and sending them into the US. How many migrants from China are arriving at the US southern border is the big question. US Customs and Border Protection data through April of this year shows 9,854 encounters with Chinese migrants at the southwest border, mostly between points of entry. The data is from fiscal year 2023. Fiscal year begins in October. October, November, December, January, February, March, April. In the last 7 months, 9,854. That's more than twice the total numbers that were encountered in a 3-year span. From 2020 through 2022, the data shows of those fiscal years. What says you? In the last 7 months alone, they've encountered almost 10,000. Clayton Dube. Clayton Dube is the director of the USC, US China Institute. He said, now listen who's saying it. He's the director of the USC, US China Institute. Could be some bias here. Some people are saying he's in China. I mean, he's in the US. He's in a prominent position in the US. You think he's not looking out for Chinese immigrants and China's best interests? Anyways, but he said that the notion of a stealth invasion by China using immigrants is just nonsense. What is a Chinese man in the US saying that? Anyhow, the obvious reasons he said why more Chinese may be coming across the border now is that COVID-19 restrictions had actually kept Chinese within their country from 2020 until late 2022. He said the main exceptions were students going abroad to study. China's economic slowdown, including high unemployment rate among young people, that is also a push and factor. Although the data isn't broken down by age, the vast majority of the Chinese migrants that encountered at the southern borders are classified as single adults. Adam Isaacson, he's the director of defense oversight at the Washington office on Latin America, a group that advocates for human rights in the Americas. He said that most of those would most certainly be young men. He also noted that 204% increase in single adults from China entering through the southern borders from December to April, a 204% increase. But he said that there's also significant increase of entry by single adults from other countries as well, including places like Venezuela, Brazil, other countries. There's nothing unusual about immigrants from any other country being military age. Nothing unusual about it. That's about the age where people are able to run if they're going to run, to defect if they're going to defect. Get up, pack your stuff, make the long journey. That's about the age group where you do it. Some people want to run, but they're like, man, I'm too old for that. I'm like 56. I can't make that long journey. I don't know what's going to happen to me when I get to Mexico or Colombia or Panama or whatever. I think I'm just going to stay here and live out the rest of my life. Whereas younger people, early 20s, 30s, 40s, they're like, I can make this journey. I'm fit. I'm healthy enough. So they're saying, us seeing the military aged and mostly men must understand how China is set up. It's like men are in a superior position, right? Naturally within their society. And then on top of that, what's going on in China, plus they're running like everybody else. So there's nothing unusual about migrants from any country being military age. This is what Isaacson said, who said that there's also nothing unusual about people fleeing persecution from countries that have poor relationships with the US. Their country has a poor relationship with the US, but not the individual. The individual wants to get out of that country and make it to the US. What a conundrum. What a piece of something. So the journey to the US through Mexico can be a dangerous one, as recent news reports about the increased Chinese migration shows. Many Chinese migrants, like those from other countries, cross from South to Central America through the treacherous Darien Gap. Darien Gap, I believe, is where they have to walk through the water there, and the water goes up to, some of them goes up to some of them neck. Like if you're not tall enough and if you can't swim good enough, water wash you away. Some people drown. I've seen people going through it with a baby on their head, trying to swim through at the same time because they weren't tall enough. So the water is like right here by their nose and then tiptoeing, bobbing through. It's a crazy thing. It's a crazy thing. We've seen the videos. So most of them make it through there, which the Guardian described as a roadless, lawless, and extremely dangerous stretch of the rainforest. Most Chinese migrants enter the US at the airport with visas, most of them. But it's always been the case that some have arrived through other means, said Dube, who cited as an example the Golden Venture. A firefighter used to smuggle nearly 300 immigrants from China in 1993 that ran aground off Queens, New York. Many Chinese migrants, they seek asylum for a variety of different reasons, such as political, religious, repression, but relatively few choose to take the financial and safety risks that are associated with arriving at the US border without authorization. They prefer to show up on a visa and don't return, run off on a visa. That's what their track record shows. And but this is also the reason why people are saying that's not how they usually come. What is this? You understand? If we were used to seeing them at the border all the time in big numbers, we would have been like, okay, there we go again. Holy Chinese pile up on the border as usual, along with everybody else. But that's not how it's documented. That's not how they normally come. Even when they come to seek asylum or they turn into illegal immigrants, it's usually because they have overstayed a visa or because they, overstayed. So they normally come through the airport, proper parts, and then venture off and start doing stuff another way. So this is kind of like weird to see people to see that many of them at the border, and political facts check is trying to justify why we are seeing so many Chinese people, especially men and military age Chinese men, piled up at the US southern border in Mexico, trying to make it over into the US. Camarota said that national security concerns arise when immigrants from a hostile power enter the US undetected. But Isaacon said such a risk is more likely if a country tries to mix in some spies into the crowd that's coming across, not soldiers with immigrants, which Cuba, by the way, was thought to have done in 2010. Like when Cuba let out the raft them with a whole bunch of people and was like, go. And hundreds and then thousands of Cubans were washing up in Miami on the beach. The US government was thinking that Cuba was sending some spies along with those people to come across as immigrants trying to defect from the regime in Cuba, the communist regime in Cuba. They're now saying that that might be happening in this crowd of Chinese that's coming across, but not no soldiers that's going to reunite once they get here and gather back up their army and go off to fight us here on our soil. You know, some people never really see problems until the problem is like right here. You know, the problem be right here, they can't see it. It gets right here, they can't see it. It gets right here, then it's like, damn, it's here. Well, so a CPB spokesperson said in a statement to PolitiFact that increased migration is a global phenomenon, nothing to worry about. CPB Acting Commissioner Troy Miller recently told Congress that the agency works with multiple partners to disrupt transnational criminal organizations who are smuggling Chinese migrants, especially. The statement said that there are multiple levels of screening to detect and to prevent people who pose national threat or public safety. Joe Biden opened up the borders. He said one way to help the immigration situation and to remain humane in the eyes of the world, because people come running to you as a first world country. Save us. We're dying in our country. Please save us. Have a heart. Big, strong America, have a heart. Please. They're knocking on the door. Under the whole lockdown that we just survived and came out of, Donald Trump, who was president at the time, he locked the door. He was like, you can knock all you want to. No, I'm not opening our doors, not for you, because I don't want a bunch of you coming in here with that. And next thing, everybody is sick and dying out. Justified. Well, the other day, the 17, 18, whatever the name of it was, I don't want to be wrong, so I'll say whatever the name of it was, that expired, which flung that door wide open again. Joe Biden's administration solution is that, come on in. Come on to the border. Once you get to the border, he said, we need faster processing at the border. Process them at the border. Set the border so that when they come, we can go through the questioning. Like they're saying right here, that there's a long number of questionnaire questions and a process that each person will have to go through. They're going to try to figure out, you know, when you go to prison and then figure out, turn you around, oh, you have a lot of tattoos. What does this one mean? This one looks like you're affiliated with the blood gang. Is that so? Are you a gangster? Are you this person? Are you a, what set do you claim? Whatever. So they know where to put you in the prison, right? Same thing coming into the US. They're going to go through all that process to figure out who might have bad intentions, who might not. This is my personal opinion. And my personal opinion is, having been a soldier for so many years, it could probably be easy to slip through those question and answer stuff anyways. A well-trained soldier will know how to look sympathetic. A well-trained soldier will know when to turn on the waterworks. A well-trained soldier will know when to act like they're not a threat. You know what I'm saying? So telling me that you have a bunch of, and I'm not speaking out against Chinese people, I'm just saying, telling me that you have a bunch of questions and stuff that people have to answer before they come in, that doesn't really give anybody any security. You know, I'm concerned. And the reason I'm concerned is because I live here. The reason I'm concerned is because I'm raising my children here. The reason I'm concerned is because if the shit hits the fan, I know that I'm going to have to pick up arms and go to war on our soil. So, you're damn right, I'm concerned. A TikTok video claimed that Chinese communist troops are on the ground at the U.S. southern border. The number of Chinese migrants at the border has increased in recent months, but there is nothing unusual about military-aged men. This is how PolitiFact summed it up. The number of Chinese migrants at the southern border, has increased in recent months, but there is nothing unusual about military-aged men coming from any country, even those with strained relationships with the U.S. We found no evidence that the recent increase has any connection at all to the Chinese military. Many of the migrants are fleeing political and religious repression or are migrating for financial reasons. So they have rated that piece of news as false. This article was written by Maria Ramirez Uribe, contributed to this report as well. I will put the link in the description, but if you want to go through the entire article, you can find the entire article at politifact.com. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of videos now of the same story that's out there. So you might, if you listen to the wrong people, run with the wrong narrative. PolitiFact is known to take these types of stories, look into them, break them down, and then give you numbers and then give you reasons, which is why I went to PolitiFact. You can go to Fox News, you can go to CNN, you can go to MSNBC, you can go to other news out there to get the same story. But PolitiFact breaks that down, where the video came from, who shot the video, what was said in the video, and how it relates to what people's concerns are. See? All right. Your concern. All those Afghan and Russian people already here entered with refugee status, says Vicky Victory. Makes a point. Now, let me close this segment by saying this. I know people are going to say, man, SouFLo, you only saying that because you live in the U.S. But what my years in the U.S. military taught me is, because I had some like moments, saw some things, had some brain awakening moments, I can comfortably say this. Our military powers and capabilities, whether it's to act here at home or abroad in somebody else's country, it's not to be played with. And if you're a civilian who has never served, then you have probably no idea. You're just guessing wildly. But I'm telling you that your wildest guess would not prepare you for the reality, the magnitude of this reality. So in a sense, I don't really feel threatened. Because if there's people here in sleeper cells, I know that there are civilians here as well in sleeper cells. And our sleeper cell is kind of different. We just normal people going through in the neighborhoods. We're raising our children. We say hi to our neighbors, you know. Oh, you served too? Yeah, I served. You, what unit were you in? Yeah. Oh, hey man, you're my neighbor. Hey, welcome to the neighborhood. Blah blah blah. We go on about our business, you know. We are the wives and the husbands go off to their regular 9 to 5, whatever. You might see people at the gun range still keeping their skills sharp. You might see them in the park still running through drills. You might not even know what they're doing. They just look like they're working out. But I'm saying, there are a lot of those. that are still around, and they're all over, obviously. So anywhere whoever goes by sneaking in and feeling like they can rise up some kind of sleeper cell and do some kind of anything, it'll be a well fought war. It won't be no quick surrender. It's not going to be pretty either, right? So I don't really feel too nervous anymore. But when I first saw the story, I felt very nervous. That's why I went to go do some research on it. Seeing? JC says, good morning, afternoon from the UK. Big up yourself, JC. Thank you for being here. I'll become a paid member of the group towards the end of this year. I'm planning to retire from work. Then so we'll be able to catch the lives then. All right, JC, we look forward to having you as a family. And if God spare me life, I'll be around to see it. US people can be naive sometimes, says Myrna Douglas. Yeah, I'll close that segment off. I've been hearing my whole life that the US is crumbling. This is their last year. They'll be gone in the next 5 years. All their money is going to be useless. They're going to be invaded by this and they're going to do that. And it's just like hearing that Jesus is coming. Sorry to you Christian people. Every time I say that, I offend and people get in their feelings. But I'm a logical, realistic kind of person. I'm the kind of person where if I can't touch it, then that shit probably ain't real. What you talking about? Can't touch it? Okay, I need tangible evidence. So it's just like sitting here and grandma was saying, Jesus is coming soon, better get your life right. And she gone. Dead and pass on. Grandpa said the same thing, him follow, dead and pass on and gone. His parents said the same thing to them, and they spent 90-something years on earth. And most of that telling us the same thing and still waiting for Jesus to come. So it's the same thing. This is how I look at people telling me the US is going to end and this is going to happen and that's going to happen and they're going to be invaded by. I'm still looking like how I'm looking, like how y'all looking for Jesus. Just the same. Right? Right? And let me finish this so I could go on to my next topic by saying this. Before the US ends as you know it, a lot of places will get wiped off the earth, like completely wiped, never existed, kind of wiped off the earth. I'll just leave that one right there. Let your little imagination run wild. Wiped. That's that. Anyhow, moving right along. Take from that one what you wish. This story broke my heart, man. The next story I'm gonna get into, if ever there was insult added to injury, this is it. You know, I love Jamaica. I love Jamaica with a passion. I'm not one of them people that will love Jamaica because the topography of Jamaica and their mountains are nice and the beaches are beautiful, you know. And I love Jamaica for the culture. I love Jamaica for the people. I love Jamaica for our different parishes and the different styles that come from the different parishes and how Westmoreland might cook something little different from how the people up at Clarendon cook it. And, you know, I love Jamaica for all that, the vibes, the music, the things we create, the way we are when we are nice and good to each other, that kind of stuff. My roots that are deeply planted in Jamaica, like I tell people before, yeah, man, everybody say we're all from Africa. And some Jamaicans can really trace their roots and say, yeah, my great-great-grand came over and then this, that. I'm one of those Jamaicans where I trace way back to way back a wall and can't find nothing else but Jamaica in my thing. See? So, with that said, certain things in Jamaica need to be fixed up, fam. And we can't go around it no more, and we can't be silenced by people cussing us out on social media no more. Move on, go, you're foreign, you go on like say Jamaica foreign better than Jamaica, and we don't even hear those people no more, because it's important for us to spearhead this and speak loudly and create a platform where people can voice loudly until these changes come about. This story about this young lady, Raven Wilson, is heartbreaking. But I'm going to take you on this journey with this story. And first of all, let me say my condolences goes out to her mom. Her mom is a real good woman. No parent should ever have to go through this. I was just watching a video just now. It's like a youth that was supposed to be graduating high school. His mom is bawling over his casket as they're putting him into the ground. And she was saying, like, everybody else are graduate, and you know, graduate D. D, you never graduate D. All of the things them what we plan, none of it never happen, none of it never come to fruition, none of it. Look upon you, D. They look upon D, lay down in a casket and look upon me. Look upon D, D. I have to feel graduation come to. You know, no mom should ever go through that. I want this to be a lesson to the youth them as well, right? No matter look at that friend draw, you got dash for your life, my friend. See? This thing here really is a journey. Remember when the elders used to say to us, this ain't for the swift. This is for those who can endure. And we're not just talking about just endure, bear sufferation. You know, you're enduring with an end goal in mind. You're enduring with vision at the forefront of your mind. You're enduring while you're putting in work, and you're working while hoping for better. You know, just sit down and hope for better, right? So them wisen way up from with it little for those who wanted to hear. And again, they said, he who has ears to hear will hear. And them say, who can hear, I go feel. So we see it. Who wanted to go the quick way always ends mash up. Shout out to my mom. Mommy say, if you run it fast, you have to go run it twice, you know. So make sure, take your time and go through. Hey, mommy, I love you. She said, if you run it fast, you have to go run it twice, you know. Me didn't want to hear none of that. Can I tell you, so me run it about 50 times? You never want to hear none of that. If you run it fast, you have to go run it twice. That will play more into the how they got Zado story. But this one right here, heartache. Mother of 14-year-old girl that was found in a garbage bag with her throat slashed is gutted as her killers are released from prison already. We tell about Jamaica justice system, and for the people who hold this kind of grudge and hatred against somebody like, say, a Vibes Cartel. Every time, SouFLo, every time I hear you talk about a man, my spirit just get cross because you seem like you have good reasoning skills until you say something about him. I'm trying to show y'all something that we really are. I believe in justice for one and justice for all, or justice for none. That is equality. Seeing? And until we get our system to be like that or something closer to that, it's going to stay the way it is. And we're going to have to deal with this all the time. They imprison who they want to imprison. They let out who they want to let out. If you still believe Cartel gone to prison for 35 years before parole, this is about the 10th, 15th story I've done for you where I've shown you blatant murder in the most gruesome ways that got like 13 years, 15 years, out in no time. Under the same system. Anyhow, the pain was evident in Laverne Morgan's voice. Shout out to Jamaica Observer. The pain was more evident in Laverne Morgan's voice Sunday morning while she was getting ready. You have to listen to that story. While she was getting ready for church. Now, 3 days prior, she sat in the St. Anne Parish Court and she watched as two men that were on trial for her little daughter's murder were set free. She said, honest to God, me blank right now. It's like, I don't know what happened. The judge said the case weak. Oh, God. I feel like I went back down to where I was coming from. I don't know. I have to go to church to get like a blessing this morning because I don't know. The wound that I got, it opened right back. So to know that I went for justice and nothing was served, I had to come out of that courtroom there. Her 14-year-old daughter, Raven Wilson, who lived with her in Top Hill, St. Anne's Bay, was reported missing Friday, October 19th of 2018. Now, after a frantic community search, the teenager's body was found 2 days later at around 6:30 a.m. in the early morning in a garbage bag tie up the garbage bag with the little girl in there with her throat slash. In November of 2018, 2 boys, both of them 15 years old, were charged in relation to Raven's killing. We covered this story. No, we didn't, because 2016 we start with thing. One was charged with murder, and the other one was charged with accessory after the fact of murder. Now, when they were taken to court, right? You know how you go court and go turn snitch because me and you did a crime together, but them promised that if me give them everything, right, so they can seal up their case, they'll give me less time, kind of thing. That happened in this case. So it wasn't like they grabbed 2 wrong people and these 2 people don't know nothing what go on. It was a jury trial. The jury trial started early in May and it concluded Wednesday, May 31st of 2023. That's a few days ago. We're only 5 days into June. Both of the accused men, who were 15 at the time and are now 19 years old, were both freed. Set free. Go on with your life. One of the accused, who acted as a witness, had, under a plea deal with the prosecution, pleaded guilty to the offense of misprision of felony and gave evidence against the other accused person. Misprision of felony is a crime that occurs when someone knows that a felony has been committed, but they fail to inform the authorities that a felony has been committed. Like in the Slickiana trial case, where Russian and the security guard dude, the security guard was charged with misprision of a felony because he had knowledge that that went down, but he hadn't notified the authorities. And he's saying it's because he did afraid. Because the boy will kill me. But anyhow, same thing here. Now, in addition, this young man gave a statement to the police in terms of what he was going to testify, and he gave evidence. However, his credibility was found wanting as results of inconsistencies and contrasting statements, etc., etc. They turned out to say he's not a good witness. So the prosecution was constrained to offer no further evidence as he was the sole eyewitness. 2 of them do it together. One of them is telling you that both of us did it together. Y'all gonna give me less time, so I'm gonna tell you exactly what we did, implicate myself and him, right? Justice Del Palmer sentenced the witness, one of them, to 1 year imprisonment. Remember, I know, a 15-year-old girl. She's the same age as them. Her throat was slashed. Cut her throat like she a goat. Put her in a big garbage bag. And Justice Dale Palmer sentenced one of them, the witness one, to 1 year imprisonment. So you ask me how cartel get 35 before eligible for parole. That youth get 1 year imprisonment, with the sentence suspended for 3 years. That means if he commits any offense in the next 3 years, he will have to go to prison for that offense. As I just May 31st this year, this happened, you know. I don't know, all thing me I tell you, you know, the murder happened in 2015. They were 15. They're 19 now. A judge look upon one of them and give them 1 year suspended for 3 years. Meaning, if he doesn't do anything bad in the next 3 years, him life good. If he does anything bad in the next 3 years, then he will have to come back and serve time for whatever it was that he did, plus serve the year for the misprision of felony. In essence, he is free unless he commits another offense. Just like that. Now, efforts to get a comment from Assistant Director of Public Prosecution, Andre Weatherburn, which is Paula Llewellyn them something, Andre Wedderburn, who had conduct of the case, were futile. Of course, they're not answering anybody because people are calling for accountability. What happened? How them slash the little girl throw tie up in a garbage bag, left her on a roadside, and y'all gave him 1 year. And the one that chose to tell on the other one was the one that got the 1 year. Because the other one gone free. Yeah. Yo, I bring you back. I bring you back to the Beachy Stout trial. The man that was given the contract to take out Tanya, Beachy Stout young wife, said he was too close to her and couldn't do it. Him heart just wouldn't make him do it. So I'm subcontract a next man to do it. He stood up in court and he testified to the judge. He said, Your Honor, this is exactly how it was done. Big man said, I saw him want it. I said, no, shoot her in the head. Him said, no, because that's too easy. I want to stab her up. Stab her up all up in there. Some enough stab, them kind of something there. Cut her throat. Describe everything they did to the judge. You know what, sir? I think the man they get about 15 years or something like that. It's in the teens him get. The other man who he told the judge, him me subcontract to do it, him me watch do it, because it had to be done how the big man said for done, for the $1 million when pay if get it done. Him get let out on bail. And Jamaican people sitting around talking about, no worry yourself, SouFLo, man. Them let him out on bail because them out, kill him out a road. Yeah, we not hear nothing about him dead yet. And Beach's trial still can't call up yet neither. But anyway, back to this. Cartel get 35 before eligible for parole. All right, sir. So efforts to get some comments from the Assistant Director of Public Prosecutions, Andre Wedderburn, who had conduct of this case, proved futile because he's not answering nobody. How can you? In April this year, Raven herself would have been 19 years old. Each birthday since her death has been painful for her family, which we can all imagine. Morgan said seeing the accused men in court and hearing the testimony, how our daughter was done, was brutal. It's rough. It's not a nice feeling that I'm going through. Only God knows the pain I'm going through. At one point, I couldn't manage. I just started shaking. One of the police officers had to come and hold me. The plastic bag that they put my daughter in could put me in my grave. They used one plastic bag to tie Raven from her head to her waist. And then from her foot to her waist, she said, our next one. The grieving mother who disclosed that she contemplated suicide at one point after being overcome by her daughter's gruesome murder said that she intends to protest today. Enough people show up in the street for Donald Lee Donaldson. Let's see how many Jamaicans and Jamaican women are going to roll out in the hundreds and thousands and go assist this mother and show up who has been done such great injustice by our frigged up justice system. Mavado's son was thought to have committed a murder also, right? Right. Them get the same kind of confession, right? He committed that murder as a teenager, allegedly. Did they not hold him until he was an adult, charged him as an adult, tried him as an adult, and gave him a life sentence? So it's like it's only the famous entertainer them where them want go after. Them have these kind of strengths for. Yes? Live on the air with SouFLo. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, SouFLo. How are you?
I'm doing good, family. How are you doing this morning?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm calling from Hartford, Connecticut.
Thanks for tuning in. What's going on?
When I was just reading one comment about from about the justice system in Jamaica, and one of them, some person who cried there about this police officer, former Constable Colts Brown, Chucky Brown.
Uh-huh.
He was given not unfair deal at all.
Mm-hmm. I spoke about that before as well. Same thing
Yes,
they did. Same thing they did to Chucky Brown.
yes.
Mm-hmm. And this,
He was
not to cut you off, but just so I don't forget, and I keep saying this, in the Chucky Brown case, is the first time I started looking at Indicom differently. It was the Chucky Brown case that had me look at Indicom and started asking myself, what the F is Indicom in Jamaica for? What is their real purpose for being there?
yes. And I was in Jamaica last year, and his mother passed away.
Chucky mom passed
She
away?
was his mother.
Mm-hmm.
Both parents, his mother and father.
Right.
The father was former superintendent of police in Mandeville. He was my good friend. And also him too.
Yeah. That case is fishy all over.
Yes,
but you notice how they handle it. See, I don't have to spell out everything. It's there for everybody to see who's interested and really want to see, right? Look how they handled that case.
Yes, he was treated unfairly.
For the world to see.
Yes, his mom threatened it. He was the only son.
Yeah. There's stuff going on in Jamaica, man, that the people just turn their head it get 5 days of talk and then flip the page back to normal onto something else. It's not.
There's a lot of things need to be changing down there, because I was a civil servant. I work at the Mandeville Regional Hospital for 20 years. And I'm supposed to get my pensions and my NIN, and my file cannot be found.
Your what?
I was a civil service.
I heard that part. What cannot be found?
My personal file.
So you did your 20. No, I'm not laugh, but I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at how messed up things are. So you did your 20 years.
Yes.
You're looking forward to your pension now.
Yes.
And they're telling you that your file cannot be found.
Yes, my file cannot be found. Also, other people who migrated, because even my first supervisor, she lives in Maryland. She's only getting her NIS benefits and her government pension. She cannot get it because her file cannot be located.
Jamaica, yeah, beautiful Jamaica and all. Yeah, Jamaica gotta do way better, man. Jano, the people them don't notice says from every corner they turn. It's a hold down thing going on. Big up to Barris Hammond, where him say, every time I lift my head above water and try to save myself from drown, there's an overnight scheme all worked out, designed to keep me down. Still I'm putting up a resistance. I'm gonna work it out. Yeah. I wish you all the best with that, my friend.
Yes, so they need to change up a lot of things down there.
That's Jamaica for you. And when we try to explain these things to people, move on, go. I hate to hear Jamaica. You're going like foreign better than you than the. Oh boy. We continue. Continue. Manners and respect here. You too. I have to laugh. Okay. Somebody says chopping. I bet you any money. Says somebody I collect that pension there. You want to bet me? You want to bet me? You work 20 years. You're ready for retire. You're retired. You're ready for your pension now. Them say, we have no record of you. Your file cannot be found. Where you say your name again? Why? Me not telling the man. But yo, we're special, We thief it and help you look for it while in our pocket. And you say you put down your pension? No, sir, me no see. Where's your name again? You work here. Yes, sir? This is a location. 20 years. No, man, somebody around here must know you. You don't know her? No, nobody don't know her. All right. Where's your name again, miss? Yo, if... Anyhow, I wish her all the best with it. I wish her all the best with it. I'll never forget when I went to go open up that bank account in Jamaica and the brother asked me, I'm asking me a bunch of other questions that I thought was weird, first of all. And then, right out of the NCB, a Christian Adesso. And then him look for me and say, so me I wonder why this brother stare upon me like this, because we're sitting right here across him desk from each other. And he just come out and face. He was like, so why you want to open a bank account in Jamaica? That was my red flag, everybody. That was the one big red flag when we couldn't ignore. I could have ignored the rest of them. And the whole time, I'm not feeling easy in my spirit because something I said, brother, you both got dash away all of your money. And the whole time, I'm hearing in my head, one day you're going to check and there will be nothing in that account. But go on, because you get one and you're still not listening. I'm not discouraging anybody from doing anything. If anything, I'm trying to tell you, go back the proper route. Make sure you check by your stuff all the time. Keep your checks and balances. Even then, them can get you. But I'm just saying, if they could do that to big old Usain Bolt, even though that was not a bank, that was an investment company, let's make that clear, which carries much higher risks. But still, I've heard the stories from the banks as well. And we covered those stories, and we heard bank fees nyam out the whole of what was left in the balance. So when we come back from Canada, the lady said she come back from England. When she came back from England after like a couple of years, there was nothing in the account. That was good enough for me. I said, all right, you know what? Don't worry about it. Now I'm going to my deepest Jamaican chat pato accent, I try to tell this brother, I say, brother, don't do some born, Spalding's Hospital, my born, You ask me why me want up more. You know what? It's okay. Have a nice day, sir. I'm going to get up and left. Yeah. And I felt defeated because I felt like this is a part of my dream. This is a part of my goals. And I just got defeated in accomplishment. But Granny said, Now, back to this young lady's story. The mother says, if it was your daughter, how would you feel? Think about your child. Put your child in there. Yeah, not the garbage bag. You don't know the pain that I feel. I'm wondering where God leave me and gone to. Every single soul is saying this cannot be right. Remember, them get confession, them get one for tell upon the other one too. Them get everything they wanted with the case. And the boy get 1 year, and the 1 year is suspended, 3-year suspension. So a team from the Child Protection and Family Service Agency has provided grief counseling to Raven's relatives and residents of her community. Raven was a third form student at Ocho Rios High School, and counseling sessions were also conducted for children that were affected by her death. So ends the story with not even one comment upon it from one concerned citizen of Jamaica. I'm going to set up some prayers. Reach out however y'all can. I'm going to try to reach out to the mom. That's the mother. That's Raven. Some man is strong, them say God never give you more than you can bear. If your back must sit strong like the rock of Gibraltar. Because the average person can't bear things like these. Yeah. Them something here send people to them grave. If it don't send you to madhouse, it send you to your grave over time. Like cut all 20 years off of your life. You pass away in your 40s and 50s, where otherwise you probably would have lived until you were like in your 80s, 90s, or even touch all 100. Wickedness, man. Live on the air with SouFLo. Good morning.
Good morning, SouFLo.
Good morning, family.
Morning, everyone.
How you doing this morning?
I called just 2 minutes because I don't want to veer you off track.
All right.
But I was watching a video with Queen Africa, and it like almost brought me to tears.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't finish watching it because she was saying, oh, when she went to a compound town, oh, them pour alcohol on her and say she mad, Buju Banton and the whole of them. And what them do her down there and call Tony Rebel in a town and tell him so she crazy. Tell him so she crazy and he believed them. And it seems like she went through a lot. And I can't believe the man from Jamaica. Buju and a compound and the man them deal with the woman like that. And I just want to know what can I do for her.
Queen Africa?
Yeah.
I haven't seen the video. Where is it? Is it on her?
It's long. IG? Yesterday, I didn't watch it on hers. I watched it on a vlogger a channel, and it was like 3 hours and something, I think. I couldn't watch it no more because I watch it and
triggering.
SouFLo.
Triggering.
SouFLo on my feet, yes.
Oh God.
So I just want to know, you talk to her today, what can we do as diaspora?
You know what? Queen Africa has this wall around, as any woman who has gone through trauma. They have a wall around her. She have a wall around her that's very hard to penetrate. That's the best way I can put it. I'm not gonna sit here. I'm not gonna. Yes, yeah, I'm not gonna.
Back memories but she never fight back. Yeah. She didn't fight them, but I fought back. When I went through stuff like that in Jamaica, like, man, I tried this, or whatever, I'm a fight. I'm use my body as a weapon. I'm a fight. 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 Yeah, you know, and you know, me never really know the motive. You know, me say, me just fight. Gunman, bad man, anybody. Me say, you know, it could bring back a lot of things, SouFLo.
I want to ask somebody something though, real quick. You know what? I'll probably try to reach out to her again. Cause one time when I was talking to her, she said, "Queen, me not really disclose nothing what I'm not supposed to." But me I talk to her and she said like, "Oh yeah, talk to me like, yeah, interview like it's an interview you do so." I said, "No, I'm not doing an interview. I'm just trying to facilitate." Yes, she's very. Very. So it's hard to get in there. God. Yeah. So me not know.
I want to hear this.
Yeah.
And she always say, I went to this when I get mad the other day and said, she talk about diaspora, we in Jamaica so bad and all of that. And as a woman to the way she talk, and then them call Tony Rebel, and them believe such a mother, she put it down and them a throw rump on her, and the whole of them want to rush her. So from I couldn't watch no more. Because I know if me the dead out of me and her. Yeah. When I take them on, like really. So just, I don't know, I wish somebody can speak to her. And she can't just, I don't know.
May I send a message?
Like we need a voice. I need a voice.
May I send a message to her and see what she'll say? I'm going to send a message to her and see what she says.
Program here.
All right, my friend.
Something.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Manage. Yeah. That's the vibe I got from Queen Africa, is that she's very guarded, but, you know, has all right to be. It's one thing when one man beat you up on everything. It's another thing if he's a powerful man. And, you know, the man carry powers with other powerful people around. I can only imagine that as a woman, you can find yourself in a place where it's like that. I'm not going to speak on what I don't know. I'm going to reach out. If she reach back in her own time, then so be it. But like I said before, though, I believe that the type of stuff that Queen Africa is now divulging, that she's now letting out, she can be a source of strength and encouragement for many others. Because let's not keep this no secret. A whole heap of Jamaican woman under abuse. Some right now, and some have gone through horror stories. I was just telling wifey there last night, I think me I tell Shakira, say, me I watch a video on another channel. It wasn't a channel actually. It was on YouTube, not YouTube, Facebook. And y'all might have seen it. It's a young lady that have a cut in her face from here to here, bust across her face, so nose, face, everything, a deep cut. And when she put up her hand like this, her fingers were mangled and have deep laceration marks on her hand. And she was telling about our man and how she love him and how she that try to love him right. And she was trying to be the best woman she could for him, and she couldn't do nothing right. And she said this day when she get attacked, I know nothing big. I believe the food never hot enough, or she never cook enough, or Wayne did like her, something like that. And she turned her back, and she said she turned her back, she feel the first chop. And she turned around and she tell herself immediately she went into flight mode, and she said, I fight, I have to go fight, because I can't run. And she said the blood of fly everywhere, everything. Sitting and listening to it, I couldn't even listen to the whole of the thing. And I've seen some gruesome stuff in my time. But here a lady, watching her with her scars, she's asking for help too. That's why I wanted to save the video. She's asking for help because she can't really work anymore to support herself. And she was like, I'm a person. She young enough. She looked like in her 20s. She's like, I'm a person that don't ask people for help. I'm going to say, I'm me that. Like, if me are dead for thirst and you have a bucket of water next to me, SouFLo is probably the kind of person that will never say, give me a sip now. My mouth dry, me dead for thirst. Me probably kin over right next to you. And everybody I wonder, what happened to him? Why I couldn't ask for liquor water? I thirst him I dead from? That's how me stay. See? So me can relate to how she was saying. So she said she's hurt, having to actually ask people now. Her hand them mess up. Because she had tried black chop and these things. So a whole heap of woman them traumatized deeply, my friend. On some other levels that some of us won't even begin to understand. No little box down and kick up neither. I not even do that bad. We're talking about some serious, some stab up, chop up, cut out belly, all kind of something. Remember the lady who the other day, the man waiting at the bush for her, our baby father, disemboweled her, is what the media news said. And it was true. When the rescue people gave their account of what happened, her whole belly dropped out. She was holding her own intestines on a run. Sister, never sister like couple weeks later. Weeks! The woman go to hospital, heal up good and come back out. Not heal up, she's still hurting, stitches in her and everything. She came out, and where she go? Right down at the police station. She says, I don't want to have nothing to do with this case. Him never do me nothing. We are going to work out with differences. Me now press no charges upon him. And I was saying to myself, here goes another thing in Jamaica that needs to be changed. Because if that happened in the US, no matter how she said, I don't want to, once the state picks up that case, them don't need you no more. They're prosecuting him to the fullest. One more. I remember when the police came to a house here, and the police said to the girl, she afraid, and she in a corner like this. And then he's like, come with me. And she was like, no, you have to send a police woman in here because he's going to kill me if he find out that I actually went with, and I saw a woman that shake while she talk, he's going to kill me if he find out that I went with a man police. Am I going to say me did sleep with you or something like that? And the police officer was like, I could guarantee you right now, I'm not supposed to guarantee any of this, but I could guarantee you right now that at least a decade he'll be gone for. That's 10 years for you to go to whatever other part, and we will assist you and move you to somewhere safe so that you can raise these children in a better condition than this. This is not it, right? And them something that needs to go on a yard. Change up the system like that. But when we advocate for these types of things, just like putting cameras more around the place and all that, yeah, man, a foreigner to stay and always a chat bad about Jamaica like you don't want to mash up Jamaica or hate Jamaica so bad. But you hear the cries. You hear the cries. And it's not changing. Okay. So the Queen Africa story, thank you for that. I'm going to go check it out. I'm also going to reach out and, I will open up my platform and give my platform to her. I have video to video here. So if Queen Africa want actually even do a video, she can tell me how she want to do it. These situations are sensitive Me don't want to run up on a woman and be like, yo, you want to tell your story? You want to tell your story? Here's the microphone. You want to tell your story? These are sensitive subjects. And when people have been through stuff like this, you have to give them room and space for them to process through it. Some people still can't believe, so them go through them something, I know, and at them I live it. They still can't believe that this I miss it and make this happen to me. Like, what happened, or what did I do to bring this for me? Like, why am chop me up like this? Why am kick me up like that? Why am bust buckling on my head? Why am this? Like, you have to like ease off and give them room. And when they're ready, they'll come forward and speak. So that's something I'm gonna left that. I'm not saying much more. I'll just reach out. Seeing? Seeing. Let's move on to our last topic for this morning now, which is pretty frivolous, but I'll end it with a message. Heap a gunshot. One whole heap a gunshot. So the youth named Zado. I don't know what to tell my young brothers no more, man. Because I gun something here and I kill something here. I don't know if you understand, for those of you who watch. I talk to you like you're my younger brother. I talk to you like some of you even my son. Your life is done once you go down certain path. No make nobody tell you about you can come back and who's gonna forgive you, and your life done. Done. There's serious consequences to these actions and these decisions. Everybody want to glorify this killing thing, and everybody is a shotter, and everybody is a gunman, and everybody in a tech talk, and everybody head chip, and everybody temper shot, and your life done. Yeah, I'm a mad charge them there, you know. You better move from around them. Any friend you have where you can call mad charge, you better move from around them. Yeah. You know what Granny did say already? Show me your company. When you can finish the rest, I tell you who you are. Anyway, Spot Valley St. James, when a handful of men suddenly moved into their community, residents of compound had no idea that they were wanted men by the police. The police had labeled them a murderous gang. The people them say it was only when the dust had settled on Saturday gone, after a fierce gun battle between members of the joint police / military operations, police and soldier work together, JCF, JDF, big up to them, the good one them. And the men, big gunfight broke out. The residents learned who these men were in their community. The man them never give any problem around here, you know. And them put them just in the place and them not doing nothing. So it was a surprise when we hear them in a gang and people are said that them are murderer and them murder people. This is what one resident who said, please don't call me name, said. According to Spot Valley residents who requested to be anonymous, the thugs unfamiliarly entered into the terrain, and because of their unfamiliarity with that terrain, I saw Zado get corner up. Killing people, moving from community to community. By the way, his name is called in a whole lot of different things. Well-known murderer. And the crazy thing is, he had two brothers with him. Me and my brother got to take up badness together. Javon and Jadane Henry. 24-year-old and 19-year-old. Along with Nesta Zado Gallimore. They said that it was in a section of heavy trees and overgrown bushes where the confrontation took place with the armed men trying to take cover as the security forces took evasive actions while returning gunfire. How I hear it, you see? Them said that the man them have the river behind them, which have a deep gully. So because of the deep gully, them couldn't go down there in the Barrack town or wherever, and that is how the police get them. For those of you who are talking about how they got Zado and all these things, a relative quietly area compound sits in the hills nestled between Spot Valley and Barrack Town in St. James. The area made the news on Saturday when word came that gunmen had engaged cops and soldiers in a shootout in Spot Valley, and at the end of it, 3 of the armed men were dead. 24-year-old Nestor Zado Gallimore, that is the one you see with the eye them steer out, so on the icon. The first time I see film picture and they said he was a wanted man, I said, damn, bro look possessed. Like he has given over himself to evil. Along with 2 siblings, 24-year-old Javon and 19-year-old Jadane Henry. And them kill the 2 brother together. The police slap with the 3 of them, the 2 brother them and them brethren. As the Jamaica Constabulary Forces media release described the events, 2 of the gunmen killed were among Jamaica's most wanted, and all 3 of them are believed to be responsible for at least 10 murders in that parish alone. Gallimore, which is the one them really did want, with him eye them stay so, he's said to have been on the police radar since 2019, when he had been held on a shootout charge in retirement St. James. And there are also unconfirmed reports that the group is responsible for another recent double murder right before their demise in the Dumfries section of the parish, among other killings. Me not gonna read no more out of the article. Just go over to the Jamaica Observer. This is how I do, and I support them as they support my platform with info. Jamaica Observer, whole heap of gunshot. Go read it. It's a whole heap, WHOLE, whole heap a gunshot. Read it. Message for the day, for the young one them, and the that big old one them too. Anytime you decide so you can take on police and soldier in a shootout and these things, you're dead. Short and simple, like Jesus wept. Anyhow, you decide, so you reach a place where you can take on police and soldier in a shootout, you're dead. Tell your mommy and your daddy if you start plan funeral for you, because them are going to dash you away. Right? And another thing, for the young people them out there, we are follow up this badness something here. Remember this. Statistics shows, well studied, majority of the men, 99% of the men that appear on Jamaica's most wanted list, they don't live much longer after. They usually go out in a hail of bullets. So if you want to add your name to that, then by all means, go ahead. Gunman whole day. And I hope you get where you look for. Because I tell you what's coming. Other than that, good people, big up on yourself. Keep this young lady's mom in your prayers because she need it. That's Raven Wilson's mother, who them slice her throat and lock up her daughter in a garbage bag and something, and they let go the guy with 1 year suspended. Oh man, have a wonderful day, people. I will see you tomorrow, right here, if God spare my life, on Morning Thoughts. Walk good. Here, I'm out. Peace.